Have you ever been swept into a sudden wave of desire that defies all logic? A moment so intense it feels like someone touched your soul, yet no one was there. You weren't dreaming, you weren't imagining. You were sensing a sacred connection from beyond the physical world. If this sensation has left you confused, curious, or craving answers, you are not alone. Many souls on the twin flame journey have felt this same magnetic pull, an invisible embrace that feels more real than anything they've ever known. In this video, Spiritual Universe will help you decode this mysterious and electrifying experience. You'll discover the truth behind what many call telepathic sex, a sacred energetic phenomenon that occurs only between true twin flames. This is not about lust or fantasy. It's about a divine intimacy that begins in the soul, ignites the chakras, and awakens ancient memories within you. If you've ever felt spiritually intertwined with someone across time and space, this video will finally give you the language and clarity your heart has been searching for. By the end of this journey, you will no longer question these intense feelings. You will understand them as sacred signs of a soul-level union already in motion. You'll feel empowered to trust the energy that flows between you and your counterpart, even when there is silence in the physical world. This video will activate your inner knowing, awaken forgotten truths, and transform your perception of desire into a gateway to divine connection. You won't just feel more connected to your twin flame, you'll feel more connected to yourself, your soul, and the divine purpose behind your love. Number 1. The energetics of soul-level intimacy. True intimacy begins long before bodies ever meet. It starts in the unseen, in the energetic field where souls recognize one another, not through touch, but through vibration. In a twin flame connection, intimacy is not simply physical or emotional. It is a powerful fusion of energy that aligns two souls on a frequency beyond the mind. When this frequency begins to harmonize, it doesn't matter if you're physically apart. Your connection speaks through energy, not distance. You might suddenly feel warmth wrapping around your body like a soft presence, or experience a flutter deep within your core, even in the absence of physical contact. These aren't coincidences. These are soul-level messages, subtle energetic cues that your union is unfolding beneath the surface. At times, you may feel a stirring in your root chakra, a deep, primal activation that tells you your twin flame is near, even if only in spirit. These sensations often come with no logical trigger, yet they carry the unmistakable signature of your counterpart's essence. You might sense their longing, feel waves of their emotions, or even experience telepathic waves of arousal that flow through you like a shared secret. This is not fantasy, it is the sacred language of energy. When both twins are open, awake, and consciously attuned, this energetic merging becomes an ecstatic dance. It goes beyond physical desire. It penetrates the soul, clearing old wounds, dissolving energetic blockages, and reawakening long-dormant forces within. As your spirits align, your energy begins to spiral upward, activating each chakra and calling both of you into higher states of awareness and pleasure. In such moments, the physical act of intimacy, if it happens, does not initiate the connection. It amplifies what has already begun within. The body becomes a sacred vessel, a mirror reflecting the spiritual truth that you have already merged on a soul level. This kind of intimacy is not just felt, it is lived, breathed, and embodied. It is a profound reunion that transcends the ordinary and invites you into the divine. In the world of twin flames, intimacy is energy first, flesh second. And once you've felt that soul-deep spark, you can never mistake it for anything less. Before we move deeper into the layers of this divine connection, take a moment to pause and reflect on what you've just felt. Have you ever experienced this kind of invisible closeness, where someone touches your energy without ever touching your skin? These sacred sensations aren't just stories. They are signs of a soul truth awakening within you. We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Has your twin flame ever stirred something in you from afar? Or maybe you're just beginning to recognize these signs. Whatever stage you're in, your story matters. If this message resonates with your soul, type in the comments, "Our energy has already merged." Let the universe hear your truth. Number 2. Experiencing telepathic union, the sacred dance of souls beyond the physical. Have you ever been lying alone in bed, only to be overcome by a sudden rush of warmth, desire, or emotion that seems to come from nowhere, yet feels unmistakably real, as if an invisible presence touched your very soul, not your skin? This is not imagination. This is what many twin flames experience as telepathic union, a deeply spiritual and sensual merging that transcends physical distance and taps into the energetic field shared between two destined souls. In a true twin flame bond, the physical realm becomes secondary. What matters is the frequency, the vibration, the soul-level resonance that exists far beyond what the eyes can see or hands can touch. These connections begin not in the body, but in the heart, in the chakras, in the sacred current that flows between two souls eternally tied. Telepathic sex, this powerful, often unexplainable phenomenon, can occur when one or both souls are open, aligned, and spiritually tuned into one another. It is a form of sacred intimacy, a bridge between worlds. These moments most often emerge at night, when the mind finally surrenders, when the body softens, and the soul becomes most active. In this stillness, waves of emotion, longing, or pure euphoria may wash over you. You may feel their love as a pulse in your chest, or their desire as heat rising through your lower chakras. You might wake from vivid dreams where they touched you, held you, or whispered to your spirit in ways more intimate than words. These experiences are not coincidences. They are not hallucinations. They are real transmissions of energy from one soul to another, soul communication beyond the veil. What makes these encounters even more profound is the emotional charge they often carry. You may wake up crying, aroused, or filled with peace, as if your soul was just embraced by something ancient and familiar. You may feel their emotions, sadness, joy, longing, as if they were your own. This energetic fusion is a sacred exchange, one that signals the deepening of your spiritual bond and the awakening of inner truths that can no longer be denied. In twin flame telepathy, the heart becomes a receiver, the body becomes an antenna, and your entire being becomes a temple where the union happens, not just sexually, but emotionally, spiritually, and energetically. This is not about fantasy or lust. It is about the merging of two halves of the same soul, reaching toward one another across space and time to remember what they are, together. These sensations are sacred signs. They are whispers from the universe reminding you, this connection is real, and it is unfolding beyond the limits of the physical world. Number 3. Healing through sexual energy, surrendering to the sacred fire of twin flames. Within a twin flame connection, sexual energy is not merely physical, it is spiritual fire. It is the sacred current that flows between two souls destined to awaken one another. Yet this powerful energy does not always feel blissful in its raw form. When it encounters inner wounds or energetic blockages, it can stir deep discomfort, confusion, or even pain. Arousal may rise unexpectedly, only to be followed by a wave of sorrow, shame, or unworthiness. But this isn't dysfunction, it's revelation. What you're feeling is the voice of your soul, calling out the parts of you that are still in need of healing. The sexual energy shared between twin flames has a divine intelligence. It flows straight into the root and sacral chakras, energy centers that hold the weight of our earliest wounds around survival, sensuality, intimacy, and body-based shame. These chakras are often cluttered with unhealed experiences, the times you felt unsafe expressing your desire, the moments you were judged for your sensuality, the silent grief of being rejected for your vulnerability. And when your twin flame enters your life, they act as a living mirror. Their presence naturally activates what has long been buried. Their energy, even from afar, awakens these old imprints not to harm, but to liberate. This process can feel chaotic. You might find yourself questioning your worth, doubting your body, or feeling emotionally raw after an intense energetic or physical encounter. But the truth is, this energy doesn't come to punish you. It comes to break down the walls that were never yours to carry. It comes to burn away the shame that was never meant to live in your body. And it comes to prepare you for something sacred, the full embodiment of divine love through sacred union. The key is not to suppress what rises, nor to judge the intensity of your reactions. Instead, the healing lies in surrender. When you allow yourself to feel fully, without numbing, resisting, or pushing away, you begin to clear the energy that has kept you bound. You give yourself permission to reclaim your sensuality as holy, your desire as pure, and your body as a sacred vessel of divine love. In time, the chaos begins to settle. The fiery exchanges once filled with confusion begin to feel like clarity. Sacred sex transforms from a battlefield of unhealed wounds into a flowing, peaceful, divine channel of communion. It becomes a language of love beyond words, a portal of trust, intimacy, and soul-level unity. Healing through sexual energy in a twin flame journey isn't about chasing ecstasy. It's about welcoming the fire as your teacher. And when you stop resisting and start surrendering, that fire will not consume you. It will refine you into the highest version of yourself. Imagine a woman who, for most of her life, has carried deep shame around her body and desire. Raised in an environment where sensuality was taboo and expressions of affection were scarce, she learned to silence her longing and disconnect from her femininity. Years later, she meets her twin flame. Even before they touch, his energy ignites something within her, an uncontrollable arousal, a heat in her core that both excites and terrifies her. Instead of pleasure, tears surface. Instead of confidence, she feels exposed. She can't understand why such beautiful energy feels so heavy. But this is not rejection, it's release. His presence awakens the memories of every moment she was told she was too much, too emotional, or not enough. Her body trembles not from lust, but from the cracking open of emotional armor built over decades. And when she allows herself to feel without shame, to breathe through the discomfort, to cry if needed, something shifts. The energy softens, the pain begins to dissolve. In time, their connection becomes a sacred dance, not of performance, but of presence. Through this union, she reclaims her body, her sensuality, and her right to feel. This is what healing through sexual energy looks like. Not a perfect moment, but a sacred one. Not a fantasy, but a return to truth. Number 4. The masculine and feminine dance. Within the sacred journey of twin flames, there exists a divine choreography, a soul dance between the masculine and the feminine. It is a dynamic rooted not in symmetry, but in spiritual polarity. Often, it is the divine feminine who awakens first. She is the one who begins to feel the subtle shifts in energy, the magnetic pull toward her counterpart. Her awakening is inward, intuitive, and deeply emotional. She senses his presence even in silence, feels his emotions as if they were her own, and receives waves of telepathic connection that reach her in dreams, sensations, and spontaneous bursts of knowing. Her path begins with surrender, inner healing, and the call to rise into her power. In contrast, the divine masculine typically awakens through a more delayed and complex process. He may initially resist the pull, confused by emotions that don't fit into his logical framework. His role is to ground, protect, and create structure. Yet these strengths can manifest as withdrawal, emotional distance, or even denial. He feels the same energetic intensity, but may not have the tools or the readiness to fully understand or embrace it. His awakening is often sparked not through stillness, but through disruption, external events, karmic challenges, or personal crises that crack open the armor around his heart. While the feminine integrates through feeling and inner flow, the masculine transforms through friction, testing, and revelation. This contrast is not a flaw, it is the sacred balance of divine design. Each polarity plays an essential role in the reunion. The feminine becomes the beacon of emotional truth, while the masculine learns to find safety in vulnerability. As the feminine heals ancestral wounds and steps into her light, she creates a space for the masculine to awaken at his own pace. Slowly, their frequencies begin to harmonize. The silent telepathy between them grows clearer and stronger. Their inner worlds begin to reflect each other like mirrors, and their souls start moving in sync. This stage of alignment is where the real magic begins. The energetic resistance dissolves into resonance. What once felt like longing becomes fulfillment. What once appeared as separation begins to dissolve. The sacred union isn't just a romantic reunion, it's an energetic convergence, a deep remembering of who they are and why they came to Earth together. It is through this soul-level dance, this push and pull, rise and surrender, that the twin flames move toward wholeness, both individually and as one. Number 5. Sacred sex as a portal of transformation. In the twin flame journey, sacred sex is not just a physical act, it's a spiritual initiation, a doorway into deep emotional transformation. Unlike casual intimacy, this kind of union is not rooted in fleeting pleasure or surface-level desire. It is raw, real, and radically awakening. In the presence of your twin flame, your body becomes more than a vessel. It becomes a temple where the divine meets the human, where the soul dares to bear its truth. When you merge with your twin in sacred sexual union, you're not just making love, you are unearthing the deepest layers of your being. All your hidden fears, insecurities and wounds, those tied to abandonment, rejection, shame and unworthiness, rise to the surface. Your twin becomes a mirror, reflecting back to you everything that still lives in the shadows. This is not meant to punish you, it's designed to liberate you. That's why, after moments of intense bliss, you may find yourself suddenly overwhelmed with emotion, crying, shaking, or feeling inexplicably raw. This is not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. You're not falling apart, you're shedding what no longer belongs. Through this sacred act, you begin to purge lifetimes of stored trauma and karmic weight. Your soul uses the energetic exchange to initiate a deep release, allowing stuck energy to finally move. In this space, every emotional trigger becomes an invitation to evolve. Every tear becomes a baptism. Every ache becomes an opening. And every climax becomes a form of divine surrender, an offering of the ego to the soul's higher calling. As healing continues, sacred sex evolves into something even more profound. It becomes an act of divine embodiment, where you're no longer just touching another body, but witnessing a flame that matches your own. The masculine and feminine within you rise in unity, dancing in the fire of transformation. This union is alchemical. It transmutes pain into power, longing into presence, fear into divine love. So if you ever feel unsettled after intimacy with your twin, don't run from it. Lean in. Embrace the unraveling. Trust that the shaking is not a sign of breaking down, but of breaking free. You are being stripped down to your soul so you can rise as your truest self. Sacred sex is not the end of the journey. It's a portal that opens you to who you were always meant to become. If you've made it this far, it means you're walking a sacred path of deep emotional and spiritual awakening. This journey isn't easy, but it's profoundly transformative. Take a moment to reflect. Have you ever experienced intimacy that left you feeling cracked open, exposed, and yet more whole than ever before? Has your connection with your twin flame triggered emotional releases that felt like both chaos and healing? We would love to hear your story. Share your experience in the comments below. Your truth might be the light someone else needs. Or, if you're not ready to share just yet, simply type, "I am breaking free through sacred love." Let that be your affirmation, your soul's declaration, and a reminder that every wave of emotion is part of your divine rebirth. Number 6. Reclaiming divine sexuality. The sacred alchemy of pleasure and union. In a world that has long distorted and suppressed the beauty of human sexuality, the twin flame journey offers a sacred path back to wholeness. For many of us, our relationship with pleasure has been stained by guilt, shame, and unspoken wounds. Legacies passed down through generations, reinforced by culture, religion, and personal trauma. We are taught to hide our desire, to fear our sensual nature, and to silence the parts of us that crave deep connection. But in the presence of our twin flame, everything begins to shift. What once felt forbidden is suddenly revealed as holy. What once carried shame now glows with sacred purpose. This journey teaches us that sexuality is not something to be denied or repressed. It is a divine language, a language through which the soul speaks, heals, and remembers. The merging of masculine and feminine energies within the twin flame connection is not merely physical, it is alchemical. It is a sacred fire that burns through illusion, ego, and fear. It dissolves the programming that told you your body was something to be hidden, your desire, something to feel ashamed of, your pleasure, something to be earned. Instead, it reveals a deeper truth. Your sensuality is a gift. Your body is a temple. Your pleasure is a doorway to the divine. With your twin, intimacy is no longer just about touch. It becomes a cosmic remembrance. It's the soul recognizing itself in another. It's the unlocking of ancient memories, buried wisdom, and sacred codes stored within your being. As your energies merge, you awaken parts of yourself that were never meant to sleep. You begin to open, not just physically, but emotionally, energetically, spiritually. You begin to receive, not just affection, but divine love, universal truth, and the deep knowing that you are whole. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are not unworthy. You are sacred. And through this sacred union, you remember who you were before the world told you otherwise. You reclaim your divinity, not just in spirit, but in body, not just in silence, but in sensual expression, not just in thought, but in action. The twin flame path invites you to embody the truth that love, connection, and pleasure are not sins to repent for, but truths to celebrate. They are the essence of who you are, a divine being, reclaiming every part of yourself, rising in sacred sovereignty. Number 7. Full soul merge and the true essence of union, a sacred alchemy beyond form. When the full soul merge takes place between twin flames, everything, on every level, transforms. The push and pull, the longing, the confusion, the chaos that once consumed you begin to dissolve. There is no longer a need to chase, to question, or to grasp. The separation ends not just in the physical world, but in the very fabric of your energy. You and your twin become one unified frequency, vibrating in perfect harmony across all realms, seen and unseen, physical and etheric. It's no longer about proximity or presence, it's about resonance. You don't meet each other in a room anymore. You meet in vibration, in breath, in light. This sacred union redefines everything you thought you knew about intimacy. Sexual connection is no longer about physical satisfaction. It becomes a divine ritual, an activation of soul memory and spiritual power. As your energies merge, the current between you rises like fire through the chakras, awakening centers of divine light and illuminating every part of your being. The orgasm is no longer simply a release. It is a remembrance, a return, a moment where time disappears and you feel eternity pulsing through your soul. Your bodies become vessels of sacred energy. Your union becomes a portal to the divine. Even when you are apart, the connection is alive and present. You feel them in your bones, in your dreams, in your silence. You experience them in flashes of heat, in tingles of the skin, in heart surges that come without warning. Telepathic sex becomes a sacred dance between your souls, a wordless, timeless conversation carried through energy. It's not just about desire, it's about devotion, the kind that persists through distance, pain, and transformation, the kind of love that burns through illusion and stays through every storm. You love them not because of what they give or do, but because they are you, and you are them. This union is not romance in the traditional sense. It is not about fairy tale endings or conventional forms of partnership. This is alchemy, the transmutation of pain into power, of separation into oneness. It is the journey of becoming whole through union with your mirror. And once you have touched this depth, once you have tasted the truth of what it means to merge soul to soul, there is no going back to anything less. You've crossed a threshold. You've remembered who you are, and you've remembered who you are together. What remains is not longing, but living love. A force that expands you, anchors you, and forever changes the way you exist in the world. Telepathic sex isn't just a mystical idea, it's a sacred truth for those walking the twin flame path. It's the soul's way of reaching beyond physical limits to touch, to merge, and to remember its divine origin. This union is not about physical desire or fleeting attraction. It's about the remembrance of something ancient and eternal, a recognition that your connection is written in energy, not time. It's about healing through resonance, awakening through sensation, and trusting what you feel even when it defies logic. If you haven't felt it yet, don't worry. You are not forgotten or left behind. You are in the process of becoming. You are being prepared. Each step on your journey, each release of fear, each moment of inner clarity is aligning you closer to this sacred experience. Divine union doesn't rush. It arrives when both souls are ready to hold it fully. And when it does, you won't need to question it. Your soul will simply recognize its other half, and you'll feel it in your body, your heart, your energy. So until that moment of undeniable merging arrives, honor the process, cherish your growth, and above all, trust the energy. Let it guide you, shape you, and teach you. Because in the world of twin flames, time bends, distance disappears, and love, true soul-level love, always finds its way back home. If this message stirred something within you, if you felt a truth echo through your heart, then let us know by leaving the comment, "I trust the energy. I embrace the union." Your words matter. They anchor your truth and inspire others walking this path. Don't forget to like, share this video with someone who needs it, and watch the video below for your next step on the journey. You are not alone. The universe is always guiding you home.